Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. My name is Chris Simmons, attorney at law, and today we're talking about commercial speech. But since commercial speech can be explained adequately in about 2 or 3 minutes, we're also going to look at some products and how they avoid the title of misleading or false. So, first things first, what is commercial speech? It is speech that would entice someone to enter into a transaction, or in non-legalese, advertising. Commercial speech is protected speech, but it is subject to less protection than other forms of speech. So, an advertisement can be pulled if it is false or misleading, but the government can't outright ban all advertisement. It can restrict some, it can regulate, but it can't ban everything. Generally, advertising is pulled for untruthfulness or being misleading, and that's the key to commercial speech. Advertising must be truthful and not misleading, but unfortunately it's not quite that simple. While advertisements can't outright lie to you, they can puff themselves up, and we recognize that in the law. So, as long as the advertising doesn't leave a misleading impression to a regular consumer, it will be fine. To do this, there's often this disclaimer on the advertisement. You can see this in car commercials where they say the driver is a professional stunt driver. You can see it at the end of doctors' commercials. In fact, you'll see disclaimers all over the place, even if they are tiny. But this is where the consumer protection part of this video is going to come in. A lot of products based on pseudoscience use disclaimers to cover themselves and allow them to continue to sell products that are, frankly, a scam. And we're going to explore how this is done by looking at two products from the same family, homeopathy. Before we get into that, at the end of this video, we're also going to explore how attorneys use disclaimers, as well as how you can find them. I'm doing this so you can avoid some common salesmanship used on attorney websites, but I'll have more to say on that when we get there, as I will have to use a disclaimer of my own. With that said, let's look at homeopathic products. Before we start, I want to make my own disclaimer. I'm a lawyer, not a scientist, and though the scientific consensus is that homeopathy does not work, it's a scam essentially, and my own belief is that homeopathy is a scam based on science, I'm not qualified to explain why or how it is being misleading, so to speak. Why it's a scam. All I'm going to do is show you how they stay on the right side of advertising. To do this, I've chosen two products, one from David Avocado Wolf and one from Alex Jones. Now you may have seen both of these. I would consider David Wolf the more hippie version of homeopathy, and Alex Jones the conspiracy-driven, fear-mongering version of homeopathy. But they both sell their products in the exact same way to avoid misleading their consumers. So let's look at this. What you're going to notice is two things. One, claims, and two, some of the claims are going to be a little bit far-fetched. A lot of times with homeopathy, you're going to see that these homeopathic remedies, these alternative medicines, they're going to promise a hell of a lot of stuff. In fact, this one, as I've read it already, promises the moon, essentially. It promises it can do basically everything. But they disclaim it at the end, and I'll show you how. So this is one of the products. This is what some of the stuff that is in this product is known to do, according to Wolf. Promote longevity and overall health, support the immune system, promote sense of well-being, support the body's natural healing response, support digestive health. Next ingredient, support kidneys, adrenal, and pituitary gland, healthy libido, healthy joints, healthy immunity, and promote healthy immunity and aging, provide an abundance of amino acids, vitamins, and minerals. And you can get through all of these. I am not going to read all of these. But here's the key. Notice that on all of these, there's an asterisk. And when there's an asterisk, there's always going to be a disclaimer. So we get down here, not exactly in the most conspicuous way, but this is the more honest way that I've seen. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Basically, we've made a bunch of claims, but they're not supported by evidence. They're supported by something else. Now, there was, I don't know if it actually went into effect, but there was a push to require homeopathic medicines to explain exactly where their homeopathy comes from, where their evidence comes from. Oftentimes, it's really, really ancient, disproven methods. But basically, they haven't been tested and approved by the FDA. And what this does is it means that they can basically say we do anything as long as it's not, as long as they put this in here. It's not quite that simple, but that's how it ends up working out. It's important that drugs are tested by the FDA. If it's not tested by the FDA, if it's not approved by the FDA, then there's going to be a lot of problems. But the thing is, homeopathy plays off of people's distrust of pharmaceutical companies, of the FDA, and is basically we're the alternative to that. And therefore, this doesn't really matter for their particular audience. But from a legal perspective, this covers them somewhat. Let's look at one of Alex Jones's top sellers, Super Male Vitality. This is homeopathic as well, and you'll notice there's a bunch of puff. It's a bunch of salesmanship. It contains this and it contains that. But what does it do? You can see attributed plant, numerous benefits regarding vitality. You'll notice the exact same thing. I'm not going to read these because it's Alex Jones and I don't think he should get advertising to begin with. The only reason I'm showing it is because it's a scam and you should avoid it. But notice down here, I'm sure if we look back up here, there would be the double asterisk somewhere. I don't know where it is because I'm not going to look. But the point is, these statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Oh look, same as David Wolf. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Same thing. If you are pregnant, nursing, taking medication, or consult a physician, this is the disclaimer. When you see that it's not been evaluated by the FDA, you're almost certainly dealing with alternative medicine that is not scientifically backed. And it is what I would consider a scam, trying to get people to give them money for nothing more than a placebo effect. So I'm going to close these out. I'm going to go ahead and make this disclaimer. This is definitely attorney advertising. I'm showing you my website specifically, but we're going to explore it because I want to give you a sense of what attorneys do to disclaim their services for 3 reasons, and I'll be very honest about this. 1, I'm an attorney. I can talk about this a lot more than I can talk about anything else. 2, I don't think people should hire attorneys based off of misleading information. And 3, this is definitely a case of commercial speech, as I'm actually showing you my website. So we're going to explore one thing, and that thing is the disclaimers right here. Now, for me, I put a lot of disclaimers on here because my website is my law firm. Essentially, I'm a virtual lawyer. I work online instead of in a traditional office. So a lot of these are in addition. But there's one key thing that almost all attorneys have, and it's very simple. No guarantee of success. Mine is right here. I do not offer or promise case results. Past results do not guarantee success in any new or future matters. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes. Sorry. And I also put it directly in my legal retainer. No results predicted. Now I'm an immigration attorney, so I put a little bit more in here, but you will find this in every attorney. On every attorney's website. And the reason I show you this is very simple. When you're hiring an attorney and looking on their website, attorneys sometimes are very honest and sometimes they aren't. And I want you to look out for the not so honest ones. Those are the attorneys who will often advertise that there's a money-back guarantee, that there's a 100% success rate, something to that effect, and then they will use this to disclaim it, to keep on the right side of things. So this is very much something that you will find in on every attorney's website or on every attorney's retainer agreement, or whatever they have you sign, because by our ethical code, lawyers cannot guarantee success. Some still try, but they use the disclaimer to cover themselves. So I just wanted to show you that. There's a lot more I can talk about with attorney advertising, how attorneys put themselves out there. I can cover a lot of that later, but this is not the video. I wanted to do a little bit of this since we were talking about commercial speech though, and this is the most common. So I will see you in the next video.